Hello, Fever River Rail fans, and welcome to a little layout update. It's been 2 years since we last did one of these, and quite a bit has changed. We're not going to go over anything that has not been changed, but let's go ahead and start here at our biggest change, and that is going to be Erie. Here we are starting at the Beloit Auto Plant. No, Belvedere Chrysler Plant. And at the end towards Erie, we have a new portal. It goes to the other side of the backdrop, and you can see it coming up the hill from the far side. The scenery has been updated and improved along this section, along with a new bridge right here, I believe. Got rid of some old junky trees. And here's the other side of that portal. As you can see, there are two entrances. One of them goes up towards Belvedere. The other is part of a reverse loop. Here is the track plan. Once again, a bunch of new scenery here, and down below, we're working on the new, I forget what we call this line. I want to say Great Western, but that doesn't sound right. That goes around, self-contained just like before, though it has increased in length. Not entirely sure what we're going to be doing here at the moment, but we will keep you updated. And back up to the main level. We've got a mountainscape planned here. So we come around bottom level, we've got this amazing trestle. Aside from the tracks, this is all scratch built with scrap pieces of wood done by, let's see, Ken made the bridge deck, Tim stained everything, and I believe Craig assembled it all. It's really nice looking. And it ran flawlessly at our last open house, which as of recording was about a week ago. Got lights down in there to illuminate it a little, and once again, just amazing. All right, and back up to the main level, we've got the backside of the mountain tunnel, and here we've got a coal mine that is in the progress of being assembled. So there is part of the reverse loop. We are trying to keep some of the city portions of Erie, because these were fun places to switch, though it is changing up quite a bit. Back down to the lower level, I believe we plan to have a riverfront scene here. Some barge loading, cargo stuff. Once again, not entirely sure of the full plan at the moment, but we'll just see what the guys working on this have planned. And there is the other side of the portals, which come from the backside. This is where it comes behind the backdrop, and you can see it going up the hill over here. It's a nice little scenery and can make some pretty cool shots for our model rail fans. We've got switches to operate, I think, most of the tracks over here. Okay, I believe these switches are for this switch, and possibly that one. Another set of switches over here for that switch, and these. These two buttons right here are for the reverse loop. And finally, we have 3 more switches to control which track you go onto. And here we are back at the end of Erie. This section hasn't changed at all. As of right now, I don't think there is plans to do anything here. But we will see. Don't mind the big boy running tender first with a full consist. The engineer couldn't figure out the turntable. Here we are over on Galena Hill, and this is our midpoint switch. I forget where exactly this used to go, but it is now signaled, operated by buttons right here. Signals right there, 2 signals coming down the hill right there, coming out of the portal right there, and coming up the hill right there. They all change to show which direction is moving. Nothing else changed on the hill until we get here to Benton. Now this is probably one of the... This was still very much under construction last time I showed you, and we're doing... It's practically completed. All these little sticks here are for a little more detail that we're still waiting on parts for. And those parts, we do actually have a few over here, such as this. So let's see. It's going on to track 4. You can see it rotate, and it shows where the track is lined. We've got a handful of them, predominantly on this portion of track. Some aren't lit up. I think I was told some of the lights were bad, or they just haven't been wired up yet. I'm not entirely sure. But let's go ahead to operation of Benton. So this is a fairly straightforward operation. Press the button that corresponds to the track you want to go. For example, if you want to go through should be set to track 1 at the moment. So if I were to, let's show you. Kind of need 2 cameras for this, or multiple cameras. So that is set to go through straight through on track 1. And rest of track 2 is show you the current track. And we're going to go ahead and set that to go to 6. So come back over here, press the switch for 6. And now all switches will be set to get to track 6. Part of the reversing loop going to the backdrop there. And you can see it is set to go to 6. Some of these can be kind of confusing, so let's go over it. Right here, this will take you to the reverse loop from this side. These and these here are all set up to go to the different yard tracks. We've got a crossover here, and this will take you to our service lead. These ones here will take you to our diesel shops. 307 will take you to the caboose track. And up here we have 111, 12, and 13, which will set switches to go to our back diesel service area. This is where they fill up on fuel and sand. And over here to the roundhouse, as you can see, it has been fully completed. Got all the scenery around it. Little Benton Station, Benton Depot. An original Fever River 282 steam engine on display here. This is a static display piece. It's an excuse me. It's an older model, so we're not able to convert it to DCC. And we thought, what better way to incorporate it into the layout than a static display piece. Back over to the roundhouse. It is currently full with, let's see, we've got New York Central Hudson, something with a Pennsy Keystone. I think that's the other Fever River 282. Looks like the Fever River Hudson. Not sure what is in stall 5, and then a B&O Pacific there in stall 6. Now let's go over the operation of the roundhouse and turntable. So first off, we have all our power switches. 10, 11, and 12 are non-functioning at the moment. I don't know the issue. I will be passing that on to our track gang, see if they can figure it out for us. But to operate, let's see, I think 1, 2, and 3 are operated on this switch, 4, 5, and 6 on this one, and then everything else has its own individual switches, except for 16, 17, and 18, which are all on that switch. And then the turntable itself also has a power switch. Now on to the actual operation of the turntable. When powering off the layout, it will give an error, and to clear that, press track, CCW. Press track until a number comes up flashing, and then set it to 0 and head. This will zero out the turntable to a sensor right there. You can see the clean spot in the turntable well. That will bring the head into the turntable, which has the control cab. There's a sensor on that end that will find the sensor in the turntable pit. We need to make sure to keep the turntable pit clean, or at least the track here around it. That's where the motor in the turntable meshes with it to actually turn it. We've had issues before where ballast and gunk gets caught in there and it won't operate correctly. And yes, this is full speed. Right, and there we have it zeroed out. Now, to select the tray, if you want to take an engine out of the roundhouse, we've only programmed half of the turntable to accommodate all of our tracks. So the white is where on our current control board, this might possibly change in the future to something a little more professional, but the white numbers are where it is programmed to, and the green numbers are their opposites. So if you had something parked onto track 13 here, rather than try to count all the way around or try to guess, you select 13. Over here you have the colors to denote which end is programmed and which end is adjacent, or yeah, I think adjacent's the right word. Excuse me. So let's go ahead and select something off of 18. We're going to hit tail, and that is going to rotate the table until the tail end, which is the end without the control cab, is lined up with tracks 18. That should be the early Challenger over there and our main lead next to the water pipe. And there it is lined up. To do a quick reverse on the turntable, just press either tail or head, and it will do it 180. While that does its thing, let's go ahead and go over the next section of track here. This is our crossovers around Benton. We've got 2 over here to cross between tracks 1, 2, and 3. And we've got ones over here for 3, 2, and 1. We also have a switch to go into the engine facility. Well, we've got 2. That one leads over to the cinder dump and a coaling point. And to operate these switches, just like over on the yard side, press the button that corresponds with where you want to go. If you want to do a crossover, find the crossover you need to go over. For example, 512 here takes you from track 1 to track 2 from this end. Press that and it will change both switches. To clear that, press the ones in the middle. Just like that. Same applies to all switches. Find the one on a short angled section to cross over and one in the middle to clear the selection. 500 here is the reverse loop from this side. And these 4 here are to determine which direction you go, either behind the city or through the passenger terminal. So these 2 up here set the line to go behind the city on the freight line. These 2 down here set the track to go through the passenger terminal. We are predominantly a freight line, so we try to leave that set for the freight line. Coming down to here, in the previous layout update, I called this Piccadilly Circus because we hadn't chosen a name and its previous iteration was a circus. Excuse me again. Need a drink. It is now called Muscadet, as was its original name when the layout was built. We've got our Grand Central Station, along with some various random businesses such as Ace Hardware, Solar Electronics, some unnamed shops in there. But most eye-catching is this bright blue Culver's. Kind of a staple in most Wisconsin cities and frankly most northern Illinois cities as well. And it was a cool kit that someone found and just put together. Space was made for it, and there it sits. Continuing on, we have a cheese store, a UPS store, along with a UPS delivery vehicle and another just random storefront. I don't think it has a name. Over here is probably one of the coolest features is an operating traffic light. Now, obviously, our traffic doesn't actually move, but the light does change periodically, going through a standard traffic pattern. Yellow and back to red. Behind that, we have our city hall. No, our bank and a war memorial. And we have our gas station. Check those prices out. If only, right? Let's see. Don't know if that's going to focus, but that is what decal got put on. I still think we should have gone with a Quick Trip, but our model builder could not find that. And over here we've got some rail-served industry. First building is just a transfer terminal. Not entirely sure what they make in there. For all I know, it could be model trains. Probably not. And then over here we have our co-op. Doing fuel transfers, fertilizer transfer. Predominantly fuel by the looks of it. And then, let's see, water tower, furniture factory. And down here we have our little waterfront, smaller barge transfer. And our stricken caboose. Now, back over to here where we have another control panel. This is a more professionally done one. And let's get into it. So first off, we'll start up here. This switch controls the switch on the middle of Galena, and it will send you to the reverse loop back here. You either need to throw it here to make sure, if you're coming from Galena, you need to throw this next switch right here, and I'll send you all the way around. If you are coming from here in Muscadet, make sure to throw the correct one to make sure you don't go against a switch. These switches here set the track to the main line. Coming around, let's see. These switches on the red line go into the co-op. The yellow is the passenger station platforms, and the black is the bypass. Coming back here along the red will bring you into the furniture factory and the waterfront. Hopefully I explained that well enough. I don't think I did. Still hate the sound of my voice, and I feel like I've talked too much. But anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. What do you think about the improvements? What do you think Erie is going to look like? What do you think JJ is thinking? I'm gonna have to learn to blur that now.
Or just cut that out.
No.
YouTube needs to know what kind of person I am now.
Yes. Let's see. I think that is going to be it. Say bye, JJ.
No.
Good enough. Catch you guys next time.